My name is Dave McMillan. My job is Town Supervisor of the Town of Tuxedo, New York. Well, I think that's yet to be determined at this point in my life, but certainly I arrived here for a reason, and I think my management experience and my love for this town certainly exceeds those of some of my other qualities, but I believe that that's the reason why I am the Town Supervisor now. I believe that people saw my leadership ability, and that's what I'm traveling that road to success upon.
So, my dear.
Hello.
Here we are. Good morning.
Let's embrace.
Nice to finally see you, by the way.
Finally.
too. Many conversations, and finally here we are.
Indeed.
Beautiful day in Tuxedo today.
Oh, my dear
And
Dave.
it's been raining for a month, so you guys brought good luck for us.
Oh, thank you very much. That's what
Mark always brings the sun with him.
I know, you have this aura, this glow.
I bite locally, and not in London. You wouldn't have seen this coming here. But so, my dear, first and foremost, love you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you talked about your leadership capabilities. I totally agree. Yes, you're in the right place.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I don't know how I got here, but some motivating factor outside is pushing me there.
So. Oh, together with the sun, we had a couple of quotes. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure it's Dave. So, my dear, and how do you identify yourself? Do you identify yourself as an American, as a citizen of the world?
A New Yorker?
We like to say some Americans are of Heinz 57 variety, which means it's a melting pot. America obviously is that, right?
Yes,
There's many cultures and everybody came from abroad. Most of my ancestors came from Eastern Europe. And Ireland, obviously, because of my name. But yes, absolutely, I'm an American. Very
is it Dave an Irish name?
Dave is not. Actually, that's actually a Jewish name, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So David means beloved. And, you know, but it is
you
what
are
it
beloved,
is.
No.
So there is the proof of the melting pot.
Yeah.
A Jewish first name and an Irish last name. So
indeed, that's the feeling that we have in America as well. Yes, very open to other cultures as well.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely, and I think that's the greatest thing about our country. Absolutely.
In the world, actually, yes.
It is.
Yeah, that's what the world should be like. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
You mentioned you are a very proud American. You feel proud to feel like an American. What does it mean
absolutely
for you,
do.
then?
It was. I, as I told you earlier, you know, I came from a family that had their own family business, steeped in American values. Our family was always very close, which was important to who I am today, right?
Yeah.
The values that I learned from back those days. The business sense that I was taught at an early age, I think, helps me now as I'm, let's just say, a little older, right? I did 6 years of active service in the military as a tank commander. Spent 6 years in the military active duty, and then I stayed in the reserves for another 20. Which I'm very proud of that service. I mean, that really transitioned me into a man, and I needed that when I was young.
Yes.
I like to always tell a story of back in my day when
that changed you, right?
It fundamentally changed me. When back in my time, when you got before the judge for being in trouble, they would sentence you to go into the service instead of put you in jail. That didn't happen to me, by the way. But I was very proud to be a soldier and represent my country. And
let's wait a second.
Fundamentally, that background that I just described to you, the family values, the family business.
Yes, that's you.
The service level with the Army makes me especially who I am today.
Yes, so, and applause for this. I mean, this is what everybody should aim to, you know. Be a nice person,
and that's my mother made sure that I always had manners and respect.
Yeah. Did you have a good relationship with her?
I had a wonderful relationship with my parents. My father was stern. That was in the 60s, you know. It was a different time back then.
Yeah, a stern.
But I feel without that level of upbringing that I had at the time, I wouldn't be anywhere near who I am today.
No, and applause for this. I mean, to be grateful.
Just all good.
Yes, and. I was thinking about gratefulness, but we were talking about growth. And do you think that because you've had a big growth, do you think that this has been because you've changed as well in a maybe sometimes, you know, if you live in a more hedonistic way, maybe you achieve less results. Instead, once you focus and maybe you become more disciplined, as you mentioned, the military phase in your life, maybe you achieved more goals.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for me, that I set goals that I know somehow I can't achieve at times, because then I realize what I'm capable of doing and what I need to learn next to achieve that next level. So I'd like to say to you that you never stop learning, no matter what age you are. First of all, you need
I'm
to
already a
climb
genius,
the ladder every time you run into a wall. So yeah, I'm very driven by the fact that I'm very inquisitive. So from when I was a little child, taking apart toys and figuring out how they worked, and electric motors, and then I got into computers, and my primary profession is cybersecurity analyst right now for a major IT company, and that stems from that inquisitiveness of being able to take apart code and understand how it works. Reverse engineering, right?
That's fun as well,
and all the things that go along with that. But that keeps my mind fresh.
Yeah,
a lot, I often say we need to have a slot so we can stick a USB card in to upgrade the memory. But I just keep finding spots in my mind that I learn new stuff, and I always find challenges acceptable.
Absolutely,
so that's the road I travel.
Do you think that this is something to do with something that challenged you in the past? I had that. Yeah.
That's a very good question, and I'm sure there is something that prodded me along the way.
Exactly.
But I doubt I can identify it. I think it was just a series of things, challenges that I hit that, like I just described to you.
What has been the most challenging situation you faced?
I could write a book on those things, but I think in the end, without any specificity on what that one thing was, I think a culmination of all them together in volumes in the book have led to this version, V 6.0 of Dave McMillan.
Yeah, I love these.
And I think everyone's like that. I think everybody's driven from something that's latent in the back of your mind, but you just can't seem to put your fingers on it.
Nice.
So whatever it is, it's a positive thing.
Yeah, and I'm
never a negative thing. Thank you.
And we didn't say where we are now at the moment, so where are we?
So right now we are in the hamlet of the town of Tuxedo, very small hamlet. Behind us is Tuxedo train station, which was built in 1865 by a very famous architect named Bruce Price.
Not a fashion designer?
Yeah, professional. Yep, architect from back in the 1800s.
No, I mean, not a fashion designer, because of Tuxedo.
Right.
So it was a silly joke.
Well, Bruce Price was very intrinsic to also the village, the village of Tuxedo Park, which is a private gated community right behind us. And as we go through these interviews, you're going to talk with specificity some people about that. But our train station is what we consider to be the golden standard for our town. It's
beautiful,
through the years, as everything does, it got a little degraded and became a police station for a while.
Well, this is not degraded at all. I mean, it's
well, not now.
It's very well done.
In 2009, the town board decided they were going to invest $1 million to restore the train station to its original charm. So this is what you see behind us now. And we just recently had done some more maintenance to keep it up, to keep the standards up. But it is a very beautiful asset. It is. And we're very proud of it, especially that weather vane that's up there. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera.
If I do it, I'm going to have a bad neck for the rest of the week. Yeah.
But anyway, it's just a wonderful... And by the way, since we're talking about it, Tuxedo is located only about... you could get on this train to Hoboken, New Jersey in about 40 minutes, hop on the path or go to Secaucus Junction and be in Manhattan in a little under an hour. So that's the greatest thing. And we're the only town in this whole corridor that also has a bus station right there. Across from the train station that goes to the city. You have to have that in your heart when you live in a town.
Would you build something else? Would you build something yourself? Something, I don't know.
Like,
do you think is going to be representative
of the town of Tuxedo?
The town of Tuxedo. Like maybe you want to build, I don't know, a Colosseum or something.
Oh, well, sure. And you're going to talk to some other people on the town board, my partner, Deirdre Murphy, who will go through what that vision looks like in detail. But certainly it's always going to be a work in progress. It's a very dynamic atmosphere. Things are changing rapidly. It's a small community that's going to all of a sudden experience a huge growth spurt with the construction of a new development, which will virtually double the population of our town.
Amazing.
So we need to be prepared for that. And that's how you're successful. Get out in front of those challenges. And according to that one, it's not a challenge at all. That's a good problem to have, is growth. But if you're not ready for it, then there could be problems on the horizon.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure we set the table, that we get resident buy-in, because that's important for the town board too. And we have committees in place, both citizens and elected officials, to talk about what that revitalization looks like.
Yeah.
And Deirdre will go into much more depth about that. But
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. You know, we're a little bit...
What's your personal vision for growth?
My personal?
Vision for growth.
I mean,
For
you're the
of
town.
I would love
Yeah.
to see this hamlet back to like 1905 as a steampunk community with, you know, gas lamp kind of stuff going down, with new sidewalks. I'd like to see a road diet come to Tuxedo to calm the traffic down. I'd like to see this business district burst with opportunity and drive the opportunity from the growth into the hamlet and into Tuxedo in general.
Nice.
You feel a bit like a Bruce Price, like making the vision happen again, but this time for the town of Tuxedo.
And that's big shoes to fill, but essentially that's it. I mean, this is like decades later, the town has been static.
Yeah.
We need to grow with the needs of the demographics. So
True.
And we need to also highly keep our residents engaged in what that looks like in the future. So that's we're not driving that from the town board. Well, Deirdre and I, we're very transparent when we're at the town board, and we speak our minds openly. And we openly send out invitations all over the place, social media, on our website, and our town hall, physically, at parties. Why don't you get involved and help us here? People have so many good ideas, sometimes that aren't captured because they just happen for a moment in a conversation.
Indeed, that's true, yeah.
Try to get these people motivated, and we're finding that there's a lot of people that are getting motivated. So that's a very, very incredible journey for all of us together, and that's the walk that we have to do. We cannot do this alone on the town board, so it's critical.
You know, something that I noticed is that good companies, good brands, they usually have good management, and you're a good manager.
Well, thank you.
And excellent manager. And but sometimes if you don't find the majority of approval, you know, from other people, you gotta take the reins and go with it.
Well,
so
and you're right.
Something? How do you balance this? Because, you know, sometimes you gotta say, guys, I know I'm technical here, and I know this is right, so let's do this in order to achieve this
My
result.
style in that regard is, obviously you're going to run into problems. People are going to have some resistance. And I expect that to happen, because if you don't have that, you'll never grow out of the problem.
Absolutely.
So the biggest thing for me is, if you're going to bring a problem to me, I would also expect you to bring a proposed solution at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Because
correct,
everybody can come and complain about something.
Exactly.
Oh,
But instead of coming to me and saying, I don't like this, Mr. Supervisor, come with an option for me to consider, and the board to consider.
There's
That's
another
one of the most
option. You can kidnap them.
Right.
And just put them in a closet. And
you know
guys,
what?
problem solved.
I've got a big book of proposed solutions. Collaboration is key to success.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
And we just went through how that important the collaboration is between the citizens and the government and all the supporting consultancies.
I love that.
So yeah, absolutely.
And applause to that as well, yeah.
Well,
very nice.
Thank you.
And we got someone in the background, please. You can applaud as well. Thank you. It's 20 people in the background. Not much, but I mean. Okay, my dear, it's everything from me.
I had one last question, which is, did you grow up in the town of Tuxedo?
No, and that's actually a good story. So I grew up...
So you left the good story outside.
Yeah, so I'm
kind
of really a fish out of water, and people, when they watch this, they'll say, yeah, he is. I'm from Newburgh, New York, which is about 30 miles north of here. It's kind of a city of about 25,000 people, where I was raised and my family business existed. Some things happened in Newburgh over the years with urban renewal that failed. That's their problem. We're not here to talk about that. But how did I get here? Well, I met my beautiful wife 25 years ago.
It's always the same reason.
She's born and raised here, 3 generations or 4 generations deep. Tuxedo is in her heart, and now it's in mine. So I have 2 people in my heart, my wife and Tuxedo. So
nice.
And they're not clashing, by the way.
Do you feel more like a Newbergen Indian or more like a Tuxedo Indian?
That's an interesting question. I guess I feel like an American Indian. Yeah, because I'm kind of out of, my DNA wasn't founded in Tuxedo. So I still have this forlorn love for my originating city. And I pray for them all the time. But since I got to Tuxedo, I found out what charm, how quaintness. The people are really wonderful in Tuxedo.
Do you speak a different accent? Can people understand you when you came here?
Well, they do, because the majority of the people here have accents. So, we're so close to the city.
Yes.
The culture of Tuxedo is just a wonderful place. and I really cherish it. And
yes.
It's right here for me. Of course, I still love my Newburgh, but
I love this. I mean, we had people starting to support us before we came here. It was an unbelievable, great community. I can see that far away from. We came from London, so I can see that it's very welcoming.
We love Tuxedo, and that's why we're so energized to move it to the next generation or to the next century. Because actually, we're just at the turn of the century, and we'll use the word I think that Carl used. Renaissance period is upon us here. So there's nothing off the table. And that's why it's so important that the whole of Tuxedo operate as one unit to figure out what that vision looks like to be executed. So very important to us.
It's empowering everyone to do something.
Amen to that. And that's what we're all about, empowering and engaging. And if you can't do that, you fail. That's what I've learned through the years. And
agree.
It needs to happen.
It's absolutely true.
I mean, my dear, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Dave.
Love you.
Love you too.
And so let's see who's
next.